Starting to the top right, the ace for StarTale in the last game of the day. It is
StarTale, Avenge.
not the player we expected. We don't see Bomber today, but it's a great choice. Really a solid record against Zerg. 62% win ratio offline in Heart of the Swarm. And he's going up against the Zerg player. The one that already has 2 wins against StarTale today. The last man standing for Team FXOpen. We have
FXO Lenok.
And Lenok against Protoss, he currently has 57% win ratio. He lost against Avenge just a few weeks ago. He lost actually against Avenge already twice. Once in May and once in August. So Avenge kind of being his kryptonite so far.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a Nexus first here after the scout. He's made some decisions here. You saw the pool. He saw the pool's placement, which is a little bit odd, but which is cute because it hides it from him. So he has to verify that. He might have thought it was a hatchery first at first. So he goes for the Nexus, and you can be very happy that he got lucky with his scout here and knows exactly what happens right off the bat.
That is definitely true. The scout was great for Avenge. He got the early scout, still blocking that hatch.
Oh my god, for Lenok, this is so annoying. Does not get the final block, but that was great.
It's the MAP, the most annoying probe.
Yeah.
Really annoying here. Double blocking the hatch, and then with the 2 hit points remaining, it finally has to scatter off. But right now, things are actually like Avenge wants them to be. For Avenge, everything is going great. Early scout. Really interesting build here also with a pilot on the high ground that protects the forge on the low ground even a little bit more.
Yeah. He's always going to have that powered. And there's Santa. But perhaps more importantly, the probe here is scouted. I like how he left it here just to be threatening. And he's going to see the drone coming down. Really important. So really nice plays by Avenge, getting all the information he needs very, very early here. There's no secrets here.
Avenge is definitely a very solid player in this matchup, and at this point right now we have him in a position where he knows exactly what's going on. He saw the third, he saw the natural, he saw the main base, and he can kind of take it from here. Lenok played against him several times, but so far Lenok hasn't won a single map against him, so Avenge definitely in a position where he could dictate this, and he's known to be a player who is not afraid to get aggressive in this game.
2 shots kill the probe, but it looks like he's not going to get either of them. And in fact, Ling's not even getting out alive either, so that probe has done like more than any other probe has ever done in the history of probes.
Yeah, that blood trail. The problem for Lenok now being that he suddenly doesn't have any vision on the map anymore, except for the Overlords. He doesn't have any Zerglings that could control the Zalnaga Watchtower and just poke at the front and maybe see what's coming out of the wall. So that's definitely a problem. That's something that Avenge immediately uses in his favor. Send out another unit there that's currently active on the map, and with a probe here, it can just double check everything. Wouldn't be possible that easily if there were still Zerglings around.
Yep, sees the Queen is here as well. Just wants to get all the information he can, like you said. And with a sentry coming out here pretty quick, he can also hallucinate to see what's going on in the main base. Lenok has been known to just make 3 hatcheries and then make a ton of speedlings and try to end the game. Obviously, that's not what we're seeing here right now, but he has to be careful of that, and he will continue to scout as this is a map where the wall is pretty wide. And maybe another reason why he has that pylon on the high ground for his forge.
Well, I actually think on this map in particular, I doubt that Lenok would go for something.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's already decided not to, but...
I mean... Right now, we have the Stargate coming up for Avenge, and Lenok so far doesn't really have a lot of scouts in the vicinity. He has 1 Overlord that is currently at the wall, and that's it. So there's nothing else. The pylons that we have everywhere for Avenge will tell him early in the game when there's another Overlord trying to sneak in. He positioned another one to the top left of his own main base. So this Stargate will not be scouted.
Yeah, definitely not. Goes Phoenix, of course, here. 11 drones on the way for Lenok, droning heavily. And... in these positions, Stargate is very quickly effective because you can just get over there so fast, do some damage. Shimmer here, not able to be cancelled. But he's going to come up here into the natural with his Stalker. Kind of crazy he gets away with that.
Yeah, he gets a quick poke in.
Yeah, he's actually going to maybe even get a drone.
Not quite. Close, though.
He scared some drones. Freaked them out. There's the robotics. Transition already good here. And for Avenge, this is an easy map to take a 3rd base on, especially given the positions. Shows the Phoenixes already.
Yeah. It's actually one of the things that we nearly never see these days in the matchup. What we had like a few months ago when Protoss players were always trying to hide their Phoenixes a little bit in the Chapter 3 or 4. Usually don't see this anymore. Most of them sending out their first pieces right away, trying to force a reaction out of their opponent.
It looks like we're going to see third base very quickly. Yep, there it is. With the Void Ray. This is what I talked about. He likes to play that deer style. I call it deer style because he was one of the first players to do it and popularize it. But going into the late game, Stargate, Storms eventually, just turtling up with that fast third and using the Void Rays oftentimes to do it. Trying to find stray Overlords, but Lenok is not giving any away.
Yeah, Void Ray instead now going for Avenge, and Void Rays in particular have been also a bit of his trademark here. Third base already on the way, as mentioned before. Second Void Ray now coming down with he actually with the 3 Warp Gates that he has was just highlighted once again by Heaven Dome here. So far he has only one single gateway that
yeah. Making these new ones part of a wall. Yeah. Doesn't that even have a single cannon up over there? Gonna catch a very unfortunately unsuspecting drone. He's really been loving grabbing those drones heading to the third base. Infestation Pit comes out here, which... Do you think he's going Swarm Host here with the Hydras? He could be, but on this map it's pretty good because the rush distance is not so far. You can get those Locusts over there pretty quick, but I'm not so sure about the strategy here.
I actually rather think that he wants to get the lair tech out there. If you commit to Hydrolist this much, one of the biggest dangers that you are facing is Colossi, and then you have 2 responses going into a Spire or getting the Vipers out there. And I could see him just go for a faster high tech and then maybe get the Vipers out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me too.
He could do that. I mean, he has options here. He could also go for Swarms, but that's the Hive tech. Yep. The Swarmos timings are just not really all that common. You see it every now and then from a player, but it's a little bit more gimmicky than just relying on the strength of your base units and then just supporting them with Vipers and others.
So Lyote on a pylon spot that force coming up to the north over that small little bridge, which he wishes he could have engaged at because that bridge is so perfect. No, oh, if he can get him on that bridge! No, not going to happen.
Yeah,
but
the force will
gets 2. And there's no way Lenok turns around to fight that on that bridge. But this is great for him because he's already warded off the first force. And look at the fourth base that Lenok takes. Is one that's very far away, probably one that will not be scouted for a long time.
Yeah, but the thing is, fourth base is all well. The problem is that we already have 3 going bases for Avenge, and he was not contested at any point. Avenge, if you think about it, he was playing so massively greedy. It's actually incredible. He didn't even build a mothership core. And oh, well, when did he build it? Like.
Late. It was late.
It was really late, right?
Yeah, it was late. Okay, I mean, I think he even got it after those gateways we were talking about.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, he went into one gateway, he got the Stargate out there, he went into the Void Rays, which of course helps him against early aggression, so it was not like he was completely vulnerable, like he had something. But if you just look at his build in general, he added all those production structures like really late in the game and focused on the tech and getting this third out, and it worked quite well for him. Now he can't afford the triple Stargate that he's going for and all those additional upgrades. So Avenge's position here is actually a good one, even despite the fourth that we have for it.
The pylon down to the south may actually kill this base. He doesn't have any attack upgrades for his Zealots yet though, so he's going to need like 7 Zealots or so to probably kill that. If he just sends 3 or 4, it'll definitely be saved because they don't have any attack upgrades yet. He may just go for drones too. He has a lot of different options. He's probably going to wait until Lenok moves out, and then he'll send those Zealots in. He doesn't have charge either, so he's really, I mean, he's not making any gateway units. He's only making Void Rays and Colossi, the bread and butter of this matchup when you get a fast third, because you can afford them, and why not? Because they're both really good against basically everything.
Yeah.
And we don't even have any Vipers.
That was actually like true for a long time, by the way. We had the same composition, Void Ray Colossi, like back in the days in Invisibility for some time as well. I can still remember a couple of games on Shakura's Plateau that were quite incredible then. You know, he by the way has 2 Vipers, but like...
Yeah, okay, so he does have some. You're correct. 3 now even. Yeah. But he's walking a very thin line here, attacking across this bridge. Some hallucinated Colossi here. I don't like him attacking this angle. If he gets on that bridge, oh, nice pull.
That's what he needs. He needs to pull those Void Rays in, just reduce the numbers, or get the Colossi. Get some mothership core here. Good move.
But the bridge, he cannot get caught on that bridge. There's no more force fields, but at least, oh, there's actually 2 more. Void Rays get pulled here.
He pulls the Void Rays. They're retreating, but both of them go down.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is the worst place to engage ever as a Zerg player. I don't care what map you talk about. I don't care if you're talking about Zelnog Caverns or Shakura's Plateau or anything. That's the worst place to engage ever as Zerg versus any race. Never attack right there.
And we didn't mention it in particular, but you saw it on screen. The 4th base for Lenok is already down. So suddenly we have Advantage in the lead with the army supply. And it seems like Avenge really is Lenok's kryptonite. Things are not looking good for the third player.
And he kills the hatchery. This is disastrous, really. I mean, that pull is not going to do a whole lot with one Hydra there.
One Hydra.
You could pull again, but it's not even worth it.
Quick go for the Scorpion again, and there we go.
I mean, this is just Lenok being comical at this point. There come the Corruptors, but the Void Ray just turn around and kill all of them by himself.
That was a triple yank for one Void Ray.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the ability to use Consume to get some of that energy back up, but
yeah. And what we're gonna see in the next fight is what I like to call run Corruptor run.
Yeah.
Because triple Void Ray production right now with the overcharge, Lenok can build as many Corruptors as he wants, but that usually does not work unless you have overwhelming numbers, and those you only get if you have the better economy, and that's something that he just does not have.
I want to see the Hydralisk count right now, because it looks like he has 4. I'm sure he has a few more on the map elsewhere, but...
yeah, it's very low. It was just on the screen a few seconds ago, and it's really, really low.
It's got to be something like maybe 10 max, and...
Lenok is building only Corruptors now, and that is never a good idea against Void Ray.
Especially this many Void Rays that have +1. When the Corruptors are there, all the Corruptors are going to be talking to each other like, you're going to fight, right? Not me. I'm not going in. You go first.
Yeah. Like building Corruptors, as Zerg, you always have a bit of an issue going up against a massive number of Void Rays. There are very few really good options, and one of the things that you can do is just outnumber your opponent crazily. If you just go in, you force your opponent to use the overcharge on the Void Rays, then you go away with your Corruptors and you dodge it somehow and move in when they don't have the overcharge ability anymore and are on cooldown, then you can win a fight like this. But if you actually go head-to-head with this many Void Rays, Corruptors are not the answer. Lenok is trying to get them to play the numbers game.
Yeah, he's getting some spores, and I'd like to see him even add maybe some Queens here, not only for Transfuses, because they do well against Void Rays. He's going to lose this hatchery again, most likely. He doesn't have any units close enough here. But I feel like Corruptors versus Void Rays, there's always that old Wise Corruptor who's been through a few battles, and he's like, the other guy's like, we're anti-air units, right? And the Wise Corruptor's like, oh, you know nothing yet. He's like, no, we're anti-air units, I think, right? That's what we're made for. And he's like, oh, you don't know anything. Just you wait and see, Sonny. We're all going to die.
We only support us. We're only here for corruption. That's it.
You'll be lucky if you become a Broodlord one day.
The wise old Broodlord, exactly. Well, he gets a Fleet Peak and also Templar Archive. The Templar Archive for him is important because there is the potential of even more Vipers coming into the game, and with the extra Yanks, you want to have a few high Templars on the map that can just use the feedback. That immediately counters the Vipers. So that's a really smart choice by Avenge here. Keep in mind that both of them are actually at 200 supply, so it's definitely a game where Lenok can still win it. But as long as this progresses, the composition for the Protoss player gets insane. Chain Fungals with Queens and Hydralisk is one of the options that you have against what currently is going on here. But then the issue will once again become the high tempo. But as Avenge doesn't have any, Lenok could have used that composition probably to...
at least for a little while longer, for sure. Dark Shrine coming up here means that we're going to see some crazy stuff soon, as well as Anion Pulse Crystals, I guess, just in case of a massive Mutalisk switch, which in this case is not really feasible. If he could maybe snipe a Nexus, it could be feasible, but this army will never die. That army that you just saw on screen right there, there is no way to destroy that army that Lenok has right now. He's trying to find a way. He skits Fungals. Fungals can help here if you can get them off, which again is sometimes requires miracles. You need James Bond infestors. You need like all of MI6 to pull that off.
Well, I don't even see James Bond infestor actually pulling that off. There's no mothership that he could actually just neural or anything like it and go for the Vortex. He would love to have one of those to Vortex all of the Void Rays.
Avenge could even make a mothership if he wanted to. At this point, he has the Fleet Beacon.
That's a solution, actually.
Yeah.
You bait your opponent out to get the mothership. You somehow get the Vortex back into the game. If you neural a mothership core, you Vortex all of the Void Rays, and then you have a chance to win the game.
Yeah, that's the only way. He has 30 Corruptors, I think, by the way.
If you're really good, you neural a couple of Archons too, and we go for the Archon toilet.
Yeah, that would be sick. By the way, 30 Corruptors, 2 Vipers killed by feedbacks. And these roaches not accomplishing a whole lot. Here we go, here comes some Yanks.
Yep, and here also, like, Lenok runs away. He knows that this is not working right now. He cannot make the... here comes 16 additional Corruptors. As I said earlier, he's trying to play the numbers game.
Yeah.
You know, if you get this many, At some point, you might actually be able to overwhelm the Void Race here.
I want to call those Vipers like the team of New York Yankees, man. They get the Yanks. That's the only way. They're gonna yank every single Void Ray perfectly, and he only has
which Vipers? That on the left?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he only has one left right now. Has he even remade any?
No, he doesn't have any.
So.
But he has 45 Corruptors by now. Numbers.
Still, I don't know. With those Archons and all those Void Rays, maybe
45. He needs mad splits now. Go for the splits. Do you even split?
Here we go. This could be it. Archon's leading the charge here. Charge up on the Void Rays. Storm's going down. He runs away. He runs away, but he baits out the overcharge.
He lost 15.
15 already.
15 Corruptors already in like 5 seconds, himself. He's trying to go in again and go for a couple of snipes here, but I think only 3 of the Void Rays actually went down.
Yeah, but he doesn't have overcharge right now. He could try to go for it again. This might be his time. 18 Roaches on the way. It looks like he's realizing if I win this fight, I've got the ground army backing up. The Storm again is excellent.
Oh god, look at those Void Rays. Those Corruptors. Oh, the Storms, the pain, the carnage. No
Infestors, no Fungals, no chance. It looks like Leenock is dead here.
If you're a Zerg player, your heart is bleeding right now. Avenge with beautiful play, but Leenock just helpless against this composition. GG! Leenock's Kryptonite. It is Avenge. This is the 3rd game that Avenge played against Leenock, and he won all 3 of them.
And StarTale takes the match. You know, that bridge up at the north makes it so hard for a Zerg player to punish at third base, because you always have to be scared of getting there. You can't fan your units out. Leenock, cord in mouth, looks like he has... I've never seen him look that sad before. That is, like we said before, I said it, there's no composition that a Zerg can make that can beat that. You allow the Protoss to get there, you're hoping for a miracle fungal, or you're hoping for, I don't know what you're hoping for. You're just in the game because you have some hope inside of you, some pride inside of you, but if you let a Protoss get that far ahead of you with Storm and that many Void Rays, doesn't matter if you make 45 Corruptors and you have, you know, a small ground army and Spore Crawlers, not gonna happen.
You can't beat Corruptors right now. In this stage of the game, Void Rays are pretty much unbeatable.
You cannot beat them. If there's that many, you just cannot.
It was 45 at
against
the
14, I think.
And 14. And after the first engagement with splits, granted there were a couple of overlaps so the Archons could get their shots off, but with the splits, we had 3 Void Rays dying or 4 Void Rays dying against 15 Corruptors.
Think about the cost of this. And the Storms, I mean, the Temple are just 2. I think there were only 2 Storms in the entire fight, and the Corruptors tend to stack up. They need to stack up and get close to the Void Rays to engage them, and so they stack, and then the Storms go down. And how do you deal with the Templar? You really can't. Unless you grab a Templar with the Viper, what are you going to do?
Well, that's something that I would like to see. The Viper grab the Templar. Usually it's the other way around. The Viper just runs as soon as it sees the Templar.
Well, at least maybe if you get the Templar to feedback the Vipers, at least maybe he doesn't have enough energy to Storm. Alternative play.
That's an amazing strategy. I bait Vipers in so that he just uses all his energy and doesn't have Storms anymore.
The key is do not let a Protoss get that death ball or you will not win the game.
Thank God that Vipers are so cheap. Yeah, StarTale, of course, today taking it with a 4-3 over FXOpen. Leenock with great plays here, but in the 3rd game he went down. Avenge, the man of the hour here. The coach is talking a little bit about the team atmosphere. He's actually saying that the team atmosphere is actually great, that they are practicing a lot, and that he feels like every single member of his team currently has the ability to all kill in the GSTL.
Very big and confident words, considering they almost lost to one of the lower ranked teams today. But confidence is definitely good. Avenge is very good against Zerg these days. So if it was a Zerg player coming out last, Avenge was coming out. If it was a Protoss, then Bomber was going to be the player coming out. So that was his choice there, so no mystery anymore when it comes to his thought process regarding that. Good question by the Korean commentators there. Any comments to the fans regarding the All-Star match?
So she's getting a lot of votes currently. She's pretty nervous about it apparently, and very nervous to play in a broadcasted match.
Korean cast have polka dots on their shirts. Something I did not notice before. Their shirts have chicken pox.
이 선수 만나봐야 될 것 같습니다. 이원표 선수 마이크 받아주세요. 자, 축하드립니다, 이원표 선수.
네,
And of
감사합니다.
course, we're
올
going to hear
시즌
from
저희랑
Julius
처음
first.
인터뷰하는 것 같은데
That's going to be
그동안 좀 어떻게 좀
interesting. I hope they ask him about his upcoming match and about the play against Protoss here. The upcoming WCS match, of
네,
course, in the
이원표
Challenger
선수
League.
하면 진짜
That's for me
꾸준함의
what I really want to know, if that
우리가 뭐
influenced his play today and if that
별명도
played a major role. If he also
항상
maybe talked to the
높은
coach.
클래스의
Like,
실력을 보여주는
I could ask him like 20
분인데
questions.
They're like,
about
did
that.
you do it for the team? He's like, no, I did it for myself. I'm really good at this. I like it.
승리를 기점으로 좀 많이 좋아질 것 같은데
I'm a killer.
네, 여태까지는 뭐 시동이 늦게 걸린
I
게
love
아니라
that
아예
curious
걸린
smile.
적이 없었죠.
Okay, so he's just saying that he's known as a very steady player. He performed
네.
well in the
자,
individual
오늘
league for a long
2킬을
time.
기록하면서 멋진
But he
모습
has
보여줬는데요.
been a really long time since he
지금
performed well in the
투표
GSTL, so he just said that it
5등이에요.
really feels good to do well
한 등수만 더
today.
올라가면 지금 올스타전 나갈 수 있거든요. 동료의 한마디 마지막으로 팬분 여러분들께 해주시죠.
네, 뭐 저는 운명에 맡기겠고 일단 테란 쪽에서 이제 네, 지성이 형과
So he's saying that he's gonna leave it to
쪽에 좀 잘
He's
부탁드립니다.
leaving it to Faith for the All-Star match voting.
이런 대인배의 모습을 보여주고 있네요.
He hopes the
야,
fans
나는 괜찮은데
actually vote more for Bomber too, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because you can vote for all the players you want and also for multiple
자, 그러면 마무리
races. So
카드로 나섰던
I'm like curious, you haven't seen the website, man. You should just go vote for yourself.
네, 축하드려요.
Interview with Avenge here, of course, the player who was able to take the last win.
항상 카운터 나오면
I love that we don't really have MVPs anymore. We just actually hear from so many players.
yeah, so much better.
I like it a lot that way.
Especially since the MVP was always a little bit silly. Was
Yeah.
just the guy who won the last match.
Generally.
So Avenge just said
진짜 멋있는 말이네요.
if he takes the dub, he's very confident to get the map.
근데 이거 약간 위험할 수도 있어요.
To get the win, so that's why he's very successful in countering the opponent's team because he feels that with the map choice, he's in a good spot.
He picked the map. He got that that build for the map at the top where he had that bridge to defend. I like that.
But the thing is, like,
선수가 이런
he was the last player. I don't know about to fix in that situation.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, I'm sorry, buddy, but I hate to break it to you, but if you come out
It's like
last,
one map left. He's like, nah, I pick the last map.
and the crowd goes wild. Oh yeah!
I can't believe he picked Frost.
I can't believe he picked the last map that was available. Oh my god, did he really just do that?
There's a format change in round 2. Are you still confident even though you will not be able to pick the map?
플레이오프 가면은 또 그렇게 바뀌니까 그때 가는
So he's gonna play in the same situation as today.
It's gonna be a little bit harder for me in round 2, but in the playoff the format changes back to the same format. So I'm not too concerned about the playoffs. I'll do well there.
아, 그렇습니까? 자, 마지막으로
And,
김남준 선수 아쉽게도 지금 5위 안에
Yeah,
없어요.
that was kind of a funny thing.
다 지금 표차가
You're not in the All-Star matchup lineup right now. Do you have any comments to the fans, getting any votes for you or anything to say to them regarding that?
네, 뽑아주시면 감사하는데 지금 토스 뽑힌 선수분들이 너무 잘하는 분들이시라서 뭐 괜찮아요 저는.
아, 그렇습니까? 알겠습니다.
So he just said
감사합니다.
that the Protoss players in the top 5 are really strong right now and very popular players, so he doesn't think that he will really be able to get into the top 5. He of course hopes for his fans to come through for him, but he doesn't really have big hopes that he will be one of the 5 players for Protoss.
Yeah, but he did well today.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Get out there and vote for the All-Star players. You can vote for multiple players for each race. So just pick the ones that you like the best. And if you like Avenge, send them your support because this is an exciting match where we can see a lot of players that we all like. But I feel like, if you really want to support a player, this is a great way to let them know, hey, I really like you. I want you to play.
And all the players, of course, are listed on GOMTV.net in the forum. There is a poll. Check that out. You can find it on the GOMTV website. These are the results of today. A 4-3 victory for StarTale, securing that second spot in the ranking. Still behind Axiom Asa and FXOpen, of course, with a single victory.
We've had some really close team matches recently, Calder. I'm really liking this season.
Yeah, the season is really good. I enjoy this a lot. The matches are great that we're having right now. I like the choices of the teams that we have here. A lot of different players. Everybody gets his chance. It's really a lot of fun.
Yep. Axiom Acer still in first, of course. StarTale not able to secure the all kill. They're 3 points behind.
And if Seoul is able to win their next match, then they will actually go up in the ranks, and FXOpen will once again be last. So that's something to just keep in mind here, because if they win the next match, they will have also the better indicator than FXOpen.
Yep. And of course, our next match will be on Thursday at 6 p.m., 5 hours later than the match started today, and it will be Azubu up against Seoul.
Yeah, Zubu versus Seoul is going to be a good one, especially since for Seoul there's a lot currently on the line. They really have to win this one. But I feel they can do it. They have the individual players to achieve that goal.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one for me because both of these teams, I feel, are very even in skill. And just thinking about different matchups we could have going into the late game, you know, for example, a Symbol versus Hiva ZVZ for the final match could be epic.
Symbol versus Dia, for example, would also be a really good match. I would really like to see that, even though Trap and Dia are very well known for their matchup against Terran, but still Dia going up against the Zerg is always really interesting. So once again, the information here for the All-Star match, make sure that you vote for this. And for today, we are done with the GSTL, so we'll see you guys again on Thursday for the next GSTL match. Make sure that you...
Make sure... Goodbye.
Bye.
4 years, 4 kids, laid it down the line. My progression is my profession. I'm doing shows with